lovely people, welcome back to our humble home DIY, where in this video I'm going to show you what our mischievous cats did to my beautiful wooden faux wall that I'd put up recently, and you may have seen that video, and it was my pride and joy. And this is actually what it looked like. I mean, it still looks like that, it's just on the corner the cats have actually used it as a scratching wall mat tool thing, so they have done all of this damage. Now this faux wood look wall I bought from Target. They sell it in Kmart as well, and it is quite a soft, it's made out of paper pretty much, and then underneath is foam, and it does give the impression of a 3D effect. It's just that it isn't that durable, and you can see here that the cat's claws have just gone straight through and made a big mess of it. And honestly, I was so annoyed, I didn't know what to do. Actually, I was more upset, and I said to David, I'm just going to rip it all down, and he said, don't do that, just walk away and come back and figure out what you're going to do. And I did that. So in this video I'm going to attempt to repair this and replace it, and fingers crossed it will turn out all good. So with this faux wall wood look panel, which I really do like, it does have its drawbacks, and one, as you can see, is it isn't very durable. But the good thing about this, and I guess it's the nature of it, is that it is in panels, like it is in little strips that appear to be little panels of wood. So if this was just one three-dimensional piece that was flat and I had to replace a piece, it would look very obvious, and it would look like I have just done a repair on it. But because these are in panels, I'm hoping that if I can cut down the line there, the join, it will be okay, and I'll be able to replace this without it being too obvious. So I decided to use the hairdryer to help to remove this, because when I first pulled it off the wall, it did pull off some of the paint. It did start pulling it up, and when I used the hairdryer, it really did make a big difference to the way that the actual wood panel came off. Now in the first video, if you saw me doing that, I was concerned about the stage where I would have to remove this, because in the instructions it said it was non-removable, and by that I guess they mean not easily removed and no good for renters. But I was still concerned, and I thought by using the hairdryer it would help, and it definitely did. So I continued to do that, and it did come off the wall. I just pulled gently and slowly, and that did the trick. Two things I've learned: get the hairdryer out when you do it, because you can see how it's bubbled there, and the strength of the glue has pulled the paint off, well, started to pull it off and pulled it off there. Once I used the hairdryer and heated it up, it was good. I mean, I can still feel the glue, but it melted it enough that I wasn't ripping the paint off. Also, when cutting, if you have to, and I hope you never do, but don't cut too deeply. You don't have to. To begin with, I cut quite deeply, and then the force also of the glue sticking to the wall has pulled it out. But I'm just going to push that back in somehow, and I'll just put the other panel over the top of that. Should be all good until next time I have to take it up. But yeah, so get out your heat gun or your hairdryer, and don't cut too deeply, because it's not necessary. And if you find that it hasn't cut through as you're going along and pulling it off, you can always go back and do that anyway. So I started to remove the panel on the other side of the wall. As you can see, I am also doing the entryway wall, and that will be in another video, and I haven't yet put the dado rail on top of that. But the one I had previously completed in the family room, the dado rail was there, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? Because it might look a bit messy when I'm replacing the panel, because the dado rail is not covering it. It will just sort of butt up against it, but it all worked out fine. So again, I am just using the hairdryer to take the panel off, or helping to remove it a bit. As I kept going though, and as I actually started pulling the panel off, the damaged panel, I realized it was coming off really easily, and I'm thinking, what's happening here? What had happened was, I think when I actually cut it with the knife, I cut into the paint again, and I actually cut into the paint layer, so that when I pulled it down, it was pulling the paint off as well. Now this came off really easy and I was impressed, but I am taking off the paint completely off the wall as well, and at this point I didn't really care, because you can see here how the paint itself is actually stuck to the glue, and that's how strong this glue is. So you can see that it's not really suitable if you're renting. You don't want to be ripping the paint off the wall. For me, it doesn't matter too much. I think I've probably painted my house about 2 or 3 times completely inside myself, and so probably different colors and different layers of paint. It didn't bother me because I'll just be replacing the panels anyway, and when it comes to taking it off completely, I can just repaint. So I just made sure that the panel I cut would fit. I did have to adjust it just a little bit, and to make sure that it fitted and it didn't go over the edge of the wall on the corner. And I place it on carefully, getting it in position, because again, this is so sticky. Once you get it on, you're not going to be able to easily remove it, that's for sure. And I was happy with that. There was one, not really problem, but it was an issue that I talked about in the first video when I was putting up these panels, is that if you're not cutting right in the middle of the line there in the little dent, then you are going to be revealing the foam, and I didn't want that foam revealed on the corner. I had no choice here though, because you can see here that the panel is sticking out a little bit over the edge, and I had to cut that off. And when I did cut that off, it revealed the foam that was inside the actual material, and that was sort of visible at the edge, but didn't make too much difference to the overall look of it. I didn't mind at all, and I think it was more important for the panels to be lining up at the join rather than what it looked like on the edge. So you can see here, I was just making it a priority to make this join here where my finger is nice and seamless and perfect, so it didn't look like this panel had been replaced. It looked like it was meant to be there the whole time. So that's with the panels replaced, and I was really pleased with it. As you can see, you can't notice the joins there. The cat, this is Khallesi. I think this is Khallesi, the cat that actually did it, and she's the kitten, and she is such a ragamuffin. She is the one that will scratch on the sofa cover I made. She is the one that will scratch on the painted wicker outdoor lounge that I did, and I guarantee she is the one that has scratched this. So what I'm doing is putting that chair in front. I've got a white boucle chair. I'll just sort of shove that in front of it each night, and yeah, hopefully that will deter her. Another thing though, when I put the panels up originally, is I did whitewash the panels because they were just a little bit orange for my liking, so I had to do that also with these little pieces here. And you can see though the difference now in both, so the before and then the after, and you wouldn't know that there had been any damage or anything like that, and I was ultra pleased. In this area I could have actually increased the width of that. That's a bit of a shame, and then you wouldn't have noticed that little sit there, but it's all okay. In the whole scheme of things, it's really not noticed. I mean, I'm going to notice it because it's there, but no one else will. I hope this gives you some troubleshooting tips if you have this problem. Not just this problem though. I mean, if one of the kids sort of bang into it or pick at it, if you're moving furniture and you knock into it and it takes a chunk out of it, you know, something like that where you need to repair it. It'll give you some idea of what to do and how easy it is to do it, because it was quite easy. I actually bought another packet of these panels. I was lucky that I did have some left over, but just in case, I bought another packet. So if it happens in the future, I'll be able to replace them. I hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned for a preview of next week's video. Have a great week and bye for now. I'm no good at confrontation, so hopefully David's back by them. The cabin did end up arriving later that day, so it was probably early afternoon, so I had nothing to worry about. The cabin arrived in 3 boxes, so the main part of this box, this is actually 5 meters for the rest of your pieces. I did have an idea though, for those people who are renting, it might be a hack, and even for people who aren't, and I wish I did this myself had I thought of it beforehand. Instead of applying your wood look panel directly to the wall, get some peel and stick wallpaper that will come off pretty easily.